Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamel from Fantasy Life, and today I bring you the A-Wall breakdown. One of the best tacticals in the game in my opinion, and one of my favorite tacticals, especially for game modes like Bounty Hunt and Attrition, where you can just throw up that A-Wall in front of a bunch of grunts and then be behind that A-Wall with that light machine gun and that 100+ bullets and just spraying and praying. So we're going to break down the A-Wall in this particular video. We're going to look at how many seconds it takes for it to last, how long it'll be on the field for how many seconds, and how long it'll take to recharge. So right now I have the power cell on, so that means it's going to decrease the cooldown time. So we're going to start off with that. We'll do it at 30 seconds. 1 second. And we're out. So it's up to 30 seconds. And it's been about 10 seconds. It lasts about 15 seconds. So from 9:15, we're going to see how fast it recharges. So it's been about 15 seconds. So it takes about 15 seconds to recharge. That's very similar to what the I gotta take one for the team. That's very similar to what the invisibility cloak does. The invisibility cloak, for those who don't know, lasts about 15 seconds when you use it, and takes 15 seconds to recharge when 30. Okay, bang, threw it out. So it should still take about 15 seconds. Should still take about 15 seconds. But what we're going to look at is the recharge time. 7:15 is when it should disappear. Yep. And now from 7:15, we're going to see how long it takes. With the power cell, it would have came back at about 7, but we don't have the power cell now. So it's probably going to take longer. I think it's going to be more keen to the cloak, where it's going to take 20 seconds. So it's been about 15 seconds. And 6:55. So yes, it takes 20 seconds when you don't have the power cell. And that's kind of useful actually, because it's not much longer, and it seems like the power cell only subtracts about 15 seconds when you're using a particular tactic. And for some tactics that it reduces 5 seconds when you use a particular tactic. And for some tactics that's actually critical. Some tactics you want to have more access to more often than others. The A-Wall is not really one of those tactics. You don't really need to use the power cell when you're using the A-Wall, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. So let's get into some more videos, which is going to be on some pre-recorded videos, and I'm going to do voiceover over it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first thing you need to know about the A-Wall is that you are essentially a tank when behind that A-Wall. Any enemy pilot that is smart is going to turn tail and run once they see that A-Wall come up, because any smart pilot will know that there is no penetrating that A-Wall. A-Wall will defend you against any enemy projectiles, whether that be an ordnance or even Titan fires. Yes, Titan shots cannot penetrate the A-Wall. So you are essentially completely guarded behind that A-Wall. Because of that, I would highly recommend using a light machine gun, because the best way to use your A-Wall and the best time to put your A-Wall is when you are in front of an army of enemies, whether that's a bunch of enemy pilots or a bunch of enemy grunts. You throw that down and start shooting with a light machine gun. You're going to ooze them down with all those bullets, preferably the Spitfire, because it has like 80 bullets, and if you put the extended mag, it's 100 bullets, and you just spraying and praying behind that shield. That's one of the best ways to use the A-Wall. Also, make sure you have an anti-Titan weapon, because on top of you being guarded, it also amps any gunfire that you shoot through the A-Wall. So not only are you completely protected, but your bullets are now doing more damage as they pass through the A-Wall, and that's also damage to Titans as well. It's going to kill Titans a lot faster when you shoot through the A-Wall. That's why I highly recommend not only putting a light machine gun on, but also having an anti-Titan weapon on. Because this is basically a situational tactical, I would highly recommend putting on like a faster health gen on as opposed to the battery cell. Only because this isn't something you're just going to be throwing around all willy nilly. You're going to be putting it down when you're in front of a large group of people or titans. You will need to put that fast health on just in case you get shot as you're putting it down. While you're behind it, you will be able to heal up while dealing a bunch of damage. Another thing too is the best time to throw down the A wall too, not only just in front of a bunch of enemies, but when your back is against a wall or corner, or if you're in a tight enclosed area, that's the best time to put that A wall down because you are protected. You're covering your flank for the most part. Now, this is a tactical that can pretty much be used in any game mode, but the best game modes I found to use this particular tactical on is Bounty Hunt. One being because of all of the enemy grunts, you know where the enemy grunts are going to be at, so you can literally go to that area, drop down the shield, and be behind that shield and start shooting those enemy grunts or enemy titans and AI titans, so on and so forth. Also, while you're at the bank too, you can literally just drop it right in front of the bank, camp at the bank, and have that shield protecting you. So anybody runs up in there to deposit their money, and you're in that bank, what's going to happen is they're going to see you, they're going to shoot, they're going to panic, they're going to shoot your AWOL, and then you're just sitting there behind your AWOL all protected and stuff, and you shoot them down. The other game mode I highly recommend this in is attrition, of course, because there's a bunch of grunts and AIs. Another thing too is amp hardpoint is also a good place to use this because of what I said in terms of camping in a corner and being able to protect yourself while amping a particular hardpoint. Now, with all of the positives I'm saying in regards to the AWOL, you guys are probably thinking, wow, this tactical is OP. This tactical is invincible. No, that's not really the case. This tactical does have its weaknesses. One being, which is something I learned fairly recently actually, is that sentries do not shoot through your A wall. And I will show that in this video in a second, but you can put up the A wall in front of a sentry and the sentry will literally stop shooting. Or if the sentry does continue shooting, the projectiles of the sentry will not penetrate the A wall, which is very frustrating because I would have loved to be able to amp the bullets from my particular sentry, whether that's the anti-Titan sentry that I'm using in this video right now, or even the pilot sentry. The bullets of the pilot sentry do not pass through the A wall. It literally just hits the A wall and stops, which is very, very frustrating. On the other hand, I can see why Respawn wouldn't want the Sentry Assist to be able to shoot through the AWOL, because then it'll amp the bullets, and then you'll be able to take out Titans extremely quickly, especially with the anti-Titan Sentry. You'll be able to take out Titans extremely quickly if it was amping the anti-Titan projectiles. Same with the Pilot Sentries, because for those who don't know, you can actually escape a Pilot Sentry if it shoots you if you're staying on the move, but with this AWOL amping it, that would not be possible, so I can understand Respawn's perspective for not being able to do that. So that's just one weakness. The other weakness of the AWOL is that it limits your mobility. Like I said, you're a tank when you're behind that, but like a tank, your mobility is very slow. Reason being is a lot of the times you put it up, you're most likely going to be going up against a pilot or grunts or whatever. The minute you step away from that AWOL, you're going to get hosed down. So you need to be behind that AWOL, but because you need to be behind the AWOL, it doesn't prevent enemy pilots from sneaking up behind you and either shooting you from behind or meleeing you from behind. So you got to be very strategic, and that's why I highly recommend if you are going to use it, make sure that your back's against a wall or to a corner to limit that possibilities. Another thing too is when you want to use this, you want to make sure that you're crouching to maximize the area in which the shield is protecting you, because if you're not crouching and you're behind the AWOL, there can be somebody on the roof who can literally just shoot right above the AWOL and catch you right in the head and kill you extremely quickly. So that's another hindrance too. Because your mobility is so limited behind the AWOL too, it is also possible for people to literally run up through the AWOL and just melee you or gun you down while you're hiding behind the AWOL, especially if you're not paying attention. Another thing too is anything with splash damage can also get around the AWOL and kill you. So although most ordinances are projectiles, there are some like the electric grenade that can hit the AWOL and then the electricity can go around the AWOL and damage you from behind the AWOL, as well as scorches thermite. Scorch can actually literally just shoot the ground around you and do a decent amount of damage to you when you're behind that A wall. Now, which tacticals is this strong against and which tacticals is this very weak against? And there are several. One tactical I can say that this is very strong against is the sonar. So when somebody throws a sonar, you typically know that they are in your general area. In that moment, you simply back into a corner, throw the A wall down, and they are pretty much defenseless. There's nothing they can do to you. This is also very, very strong against the holo pilots, as the holo pilots are mere decoys. But if you're behind there with a light machine gun, doesn't matter how many decoys they throw at you, you're going to hose them all down. So the holo pilot isn't very strong against this either. The grappling hook is also very weak against this, as you move relatively slowly when you're grappling towards somebody. So it's very simple for them to just shoot you as you're making it their way to you. Now, the abilities and tacticals that are very strong against this is one gonna be the phase shift. Simply being is because if you go into a phase shift mode, you're not gonna see the person coming after you. Not until they appear right behind your A wall and melee the crap out of you or hose you down with their gun. Same thing goes with the invisibility. The invisibility, although they might see you, the invisibility is more 50-50 because they might see you. You might be able to see somebody that's invisible. You might not see somebody that's invisible. And if you don't see them, they're going to get behind that A1 and they're going to kill you. The other thing that's also relatively strong against this is the stim. Reason being is because the stim, you move extremely quickly. And with the stim, you're also regaining your health back faster than usual. So it is very possible for somebody with a stim to simply run straight at you. And if you're not fast enough to keep that aim down sights on target on that stim person, which let's face it, that's extremely difficult because of how fast they're moving, they're literally going to run up in that A wall and melee the crap out of you. So those are some of the tacticals that this is very strong against, and also some of the tacticals that this is very weak against. In terms of it going up against the A wall, it kind of just neutralizes itself out. As whoever's A wall goes down first is most likely going to die. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, make sure you slap that like button. If you hated this video, make sure you pound that dislike button. If you want to talk more about the AWOL and how you're using the AWOL, leave it in the comments below. I want to know how you guys are using the AWOL. Give me some ideas on how to be more efficient with this beast. And that's why I do like this. This is definitely one of the primary setups I use on Bounty Hunt. Not so much on attrition, but I do use this on Bounty Hunt a lot. And yeah, with that being said, remember your life is a fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe for more Titanfall content.